How's it going, guys? Going off grid, and I'm just rewiring the Chrysler Pacifica batteries. Was not happy with how it looked, how I did it. It was very, well, look at it. That's what it was. That is minimum what I want it to look like. At least this good. This could be tidied up a little bit more, but there's even more wires here because each one of these, each one little pack has the same amount of wires as one of these big ones. So there will be much less wires. I'm just gonna try and tidy this up a little bit, and yeah, won't be making a time lapse because my GoPro Hero 4 Silver died, so there will be no more time lapses until I get something similar or what not. But yeah, we had 4 of these hooked up temporarily before. After this, we'll have all 6 hooked up. Then I'm going to clean the bottom of this. This is just where I've been throwing on a bunch of garbage. Got tons more BMS in there, more BMS in there. Wire off, got just garbage everywhere. I'm going to clean the bottom out, and that's where the new Hyundai battery's going, down there. So it will be from the floor all the way to the ceiling battery. I might actually end up putting these stacked up here. I don't know. I'm toying around with this a bit to see what I want to do exactly. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. How's it going, guys? Another update on the Chrysler Pacifica batteries. I am discharging these 4 because the last 2 that I have here, these are at 57 volts. These are at 62 volts or 61.6 volts. I'm using my 3000 watt 60 volt reliable with the air conditioner in this room and anything else in this room. I think the fridge is on it too. And I'm just showing you guys how I go about figuring out what's what here. Now, I have the negative of this hooked up to the negative. So this is the other side of this pack here. This is the back side, this is the front. So I have my negative hooked up to the negative, as you can see. I don't know if you can see that. Focus you. There you go. That is the negative side. And I take my positive here. Let's focus you. Okay, positive. And then I start checking all these pins. I've already determined that all the pins on this side here do nothing. As you can see. We're just talking about millivolts. There's nothing in there. Nothing there. Now these first 3 right here, there, hold on, make it so you can see everything at the same time. These first 3 right here, so the first one gives you 39 volts, second one 46 volts, third one 53 volts, and that's because this jumps 2 cells every time. So this keeps going up by 2 cell voltages. And then the 5 on the bottom, this is the small connector side as well. The other side here has a much larger connector. So all the way to 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is the last one that has voltage here, and that's 3.5 volts. 6 has no voltage. 4 here, 10 volts. 17 volts. What the heck? 17 volts there. 16 volts. What is going on there? I don't know what this is. This pin is something funky. 16 volts. 17 volts. 10 volts. That makes no sense. Because this pack is charged up right. Unless it has a dead cell. Interesting. I'm going to have to go through here anyways. So what I'm doing here is I'm cutting off all the wires off of my balance plugs that I know I don't need. So I'm just cutting those 2 end ones off on these small ones, and I'm doing that on all of them. Alright, so found out I can't use the BMS wires on these 2 packs because there is a fuse or something in the BMS part that are blown. All the cells are exactly the same, so I don't know how that happened. Maybe in the fire that this was in, I don't know. but they don't work, both of these. So I'm gonna hook it all up the same way. I don't want to have to do two one way and these the other way. I'm just gonna go right to the beam, or right to the cell tabs themselves, and that's how we are going to hook this up. Here we go. Alright, so this is what I decided to do. That's the balance coming off of each cell. Got these little connectors. Here's the other end here. And I'm just going to connect them from one cell to the other, just in case if I ever want to move it, I can separate the packs easy. They're color coded, and they're all different colors, so it'll be hard to screw it up. On connecting them all together, it's just very tedious. You got to wrap them around every single one of these little tiny little things. Then you got to solder them. And I got a lot of them. Anyways, just an update. Alright, we're getting there, guys. Ooh, it's taking forever. But we are getting close. Yep. The connections are here in the middle. Let's see if we can focus. There we go. Everything's soldered. All I have left is this to do. I duct taped them together just to help keep them from swelling. They didn't have any signs of swelling, but just in case. Put them in groups of 3, because that's about as much as I can lift without straining myself too hard. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. Thanks for watching, and we'll see if I get this completed today. We're getting there. Looks pretty good. I left some out on this side in case I ever expand, if I get another batch of these. These are the BMS wires in between, or the balance wires. I just got to put the cap on there, cap on there, cap on there, cap on there. We're going to spin this around and put the caps on the other side. I should be done soldering. I think that looks pretty good. It looks a lot better than it did before. Okay. So this side's all done, except for when I gotta spin this around, that's when I'll hook these last BMS wires up. And this one here is a lot lower in voltage. Or sorry, this one's higher. This is 61 volts, these are 57 volts. So I gotta discharge these to match these, which doesn't matter, which makes sense anyways. My main battery bank voltage is low right now because I've been purposely draining it so I can hook all these suckers up. I think it looks a lot better, a heck of a lot better, and I plan on cleaning all this junk up soon. Make it look all good, tidy that up a little bit more. Those are the extra BMS wires that are going to, or not BMS wires, wires going to here once I hook it up. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until the next clip. So here's the other side, and as you can see, all I'm doing is connecting these little things together. This is what they look like. It's going from one module to the next module to the next module. Then I'm going to push these together, put some tape in between so nothing ever moves it, or at least easily moves it, and then continue all the way across, put all the caps on. Hopefully it'll look real nice. The BMS will sit right here with the BMS wires coming out, and we'll get this thing hooked back up. So it's the next day now. It took me a long time to hook up and make this look all better. Still got to shorten these, make this look all nice. This is on top because I was depleting these. Now all these are hooked up to the main system, because these two are not, because these two are sitting at 57 volts. My system, 63.2. I just reset this, that's why this is sitting 100%. And this thing keeps balancing the cells. There's one cell that's just a touch high. It is, where is it here? Oh, you'll see it, one of those cells. It shows me right. So the high cell is 3.929 and the low cell is 3.919. So it's nothing. That I would never even worry about that. But I mean, this is balancing it. I have it set the balance anywhere above 3.9 volts, this starts balancing, and it has 180 milliamp balancing power. So it's actually not bad. It's not great. It's not bad, but it should take care of this, no problem. See there, it's balancing again. There you see it. You get lights balancing. So you get lights balancing. It tells you when it's balancing. There, it just shut off again. It tells you when the balancing's on. Tells you when the balancing's off. So it's maintaining balance, which is awesome. Really like this thing. This is a really nice BMS. Discharge current, I believe discharge and charge current is 300, but I can't remember. I know for sure discharge is 300 amps. And I have it limited to 40 amps because of my cabling. So after 5-second delay, over 40 amps, boom, shuts down. So I still got some covers to put on the fronts of these. Can't hook anything up until I get the voltage closer. Yeah. And then we'll move on to the Hyundai battery. Still got that to hook up. Show you guys that in a second here. Shut these doors. Alright. Yeah, we still got the Hyundai battery to hook up. Still sitting here just waiting for me. Can't wait to get to this guy. This one's going to be fairly easy to hook it all up because there's not that many modules for how much battery power there is. There's only a total of 12 modules for 28 kilowatts. So, awesome. Get 28 kilowatts real easy. So all the work it was to get this here, this is almost as much work for 16 kilowatts as it's going to be for 28 kilowatts. So that's kind of nice. Okay, so that's that. Oh yeah, I always turn the screen off. Not using it. And then I got some power coming in. God. The glare is terrible. Some power coming in, so that's good. Reliable, still running all the ACs and stuff. There, 17 volts, 63 volts there. Magnet signs are running nothing right now. Last night, I purposely, I was trying to get all this hooked up. I didn't end up doing it. It got too late. My parents were in here. They wanted to sleep, so I had to stop working on this. I had the whole battery bank down to 58 volts. I didn't want to chance going too low in battery voltage last night, so I shut the system down. Now, this, oh, it is running something. Maybe my wife switched back onto off-grid. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. There'll probably be one more update on hooking everything up. Check it out, just like that. This is about, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours later. Cells are almost completely balanced. This thing is awesome. This is a really nice BMS, and this is 16 kilowatts of battery worth it's balancing, so it can definitely do its job, at least if they're not super far out to start off with. There's the highest cell and lowest cell. They're so close, it's ridiculous. Awesome. And I was doing my discharge test with this inverter. This is the second reliable I ever bought. No, first. No, second. Sorry, second. I bought two. I got two 3,000 watts off the get-go. They're the first ones I ever bought. This one's quite old. Works really good. The other one of these is, where is it? It's in my work trailer. That was the actual first one I ever bought, and that's in the work trailer. Yeah, I got 4 3,000 watts in total, and I use them all. I keep them in different spots so I don't have to keep moving them. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. We're at the day's end. Show you production real quick. Okay, we got come on here. 22.4 here, and we're still making 600 watts. And 20 here, and we made, and we're still making 100 watts. So we did pretty good. Did not hit full charge. Only got up to 63 volts because last night I went down to 58 volts. That's when I went to bed, so I probably went down to 57 or 56 volts, which is pretty low for my bank. About 42 kilowatts in. We didn't really use much power today. A little bit of power, but yeah. Thanks for watching. This is going off grid again. It's been a few days since I started this because I have not been able to get this voltage of my main battery bank to match the voltage of these last two. Just because I haven't been able to stay up long enough during the week because I work, or when I get home. There's solar coming in, the batteries are charging. I don't want to shut the solar off, waste all that energy just because I want to match these voltage. So finally, today was fairly cloudy. We ran everything in the house as normal. You can see we're at 45%, very low on battery power. We're pulling 33 amps just from these 4 cells alone. And then we still have these 2 cells we're hooking up. We actually just hooked them up. We have, so those 4 cells are pushing 15 amps into these 2 cells. So we're equalizing in charge, and then I'm going to hook up all the balance wires right here. And where's the other black one? Right here. I actually ended up frying this one black one because it ended up this tiny right there. See that little tiny silver spot? Somehow, magically, it fell down like this, and somehow that specific spot landed right on this little pointy piece right here and fried the crap out of this wire. So there you got a little bit of electrical tape to get that back together. And that's why we're putting the covers on. And I gotta be very careful of these suckers. Somebody hits them, they disconnect so easily. Well, not that easily. Like, you do have to pull on them, but I mean, yeah. I like this 3000 watt inverter here. It's just like a backup inverter. It's just sitting here. You can turn it on, use it whenever you want. Just kind of like a, I don't know, auxiliary inverter. Extra 3000 watts. So I got this one hooked up now. 8,000 watt, 4400, 4400. Those do, I think, about 7,000 peak for quite a while. Sorry, I got the hiccups. And how are our cell voltages so far? There we go. Whoa, one. What? That's quite a bit out. 5 point. Interesting. Well, it's not. That's very, very, very close. Like, you would never complain about that ever. But that is the most I've ever seen any of my cells out. So that's interesting. The rest don't look too shabby. That one is pretty low though in comparison to that one. Well, not pretty low. Anyways, you get what I'm saying. This tells you your low cell, it tells you your high cell. There's a difference. There's still 3.5 volts, 3.57, 3.59. You don't even, the third number here, you really can't pay attention to that. This thing does not have the accuracy to tell you those numbers. All you can really go by is the 2 digits right there after the decimal. So 3.7 or 3.57 and 3.59, I would trust those numbers. The third number I would not trust whatsoever because this is not accurate enough. Anyways, I'm going to start testing and see if I can hook these balance leads up. Alright, that's it. She's hooked up. Tuck that up there, looks a little bit better, but these are mostly the same size. Some are a little bit different because these are what came with my reliable inverters. The 3000 watts I think came with like an 8 gauge, and the higher wattage ones came with like a 10 gauge, or sorry, a 6 gauge. So I think this is 6 gauge, this is 8 gauge, or something like that. We are sitting at 41% and dropping quickly. Oh boy, what are we at for cell voltages? These are getting even worse because these have been sitting for the longest. These have been charging and balancing. These have not. So they're all equalizing. So I'm sure when this fully charges tomorrow, these will be balancing. Especially these two. Look, you can see how number 1, I believe number 1 was one of the higher ones earlier. Number 4 was one of the lower ones, but number 1 seems to have dropped, and that could be because I hooked the balance wires from these to it. Excuse me. We are pulling 2,800 watts from this BMS. That's a lot of power. 2,230 watts. It's crazy. Pulling a lot of power still. That must mean the rest of the battery bank's kind of dead. Sitting at 55 volts. Over here we're sitting at 57 volts. This wire is pretty much at its max. Right here. What do we got here? 37 amps. I have it set to 40 amps is where this will cut out. It's only pushing this much power because I had it disconnected for so long. Reconnected it. The voltage differences is very high. I'm going to be doubling up on this wire soon. Like I already have one wire here ready to double up. I just need one more, and then we can have double the capacity, or double the amp reading or rating on these wires. Really like this BMS. This is probably my favorite BMS to date. These ones work good. They're great actually. They're 20 bucks. They're super cheap. They just work. Love it. This is over 100 bucks, or around 100 bucks Canadian, something like that. Also love it. This one has Bluetooth. This has more parameters. I like this one better. This one balances at 180 milliamps. This balances at 60 milliamps, I believe. But that's 60 milliamps each. So 60 milliamps, 60 milliamps, 60 milliamps. But these ones don't balance till 4.2 volts. This one balances whenever you tell it to start balancing. I have it set to 3.9 volts. It starts balancing. So by the time it gets to 4.2 volts, hopefully it's already balanced. So I do like these for how cheap they are, and they work great. I've never had any problems. When it balances, it has lights that turn on. I have a ton of the extras of these, so we'll see. Maybe if I ever switch over to just these, I might sell all these off for about 10 bucks a piece. That'd be a pretty good deal. 50% off. Some will be used. The used ones might be cheaper. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video.